I'm here to talk about the problem with the July 2022 metagame as we head on into Power of the Elements here. I'll make the 30% of you guys have not smashed it. Don't crap out that subscribe button. Smash it so we can climb up the 100k ladder here. Semantics aside here, I'm so excited to be within really close distance of 110,000. So thank you guys for the continued support. It really does mean a lot. So the big problem with what's going on right now, I've got a ban list discussion, so I've got a couple ban list discussions set aside here as we, kind of head on into the future here. And there's a lot of things that you got to understand about the current metagame. Sprite and Tier Elements kind of set a precedence for the game that players expect, the ceiling is right here. Now, when you enter into the upper echelon of the channel here, you look at Sprite and the deck has such a crazy demeanor with things. You kind of have to realize that you're going up another scaling in terms of power here. And it's kind of very interesting for Yu-Gi-Oh players to kind of look at the current format here and go, well, we just came off of the WCQ here. And it's very interesting for them to kind of grasp the concept of, oh, what does power creep mean? Well, that means that everything that currently exists, besides, I really want to say that Based is the one deck that has a chance of, kind of standing up to things, even though Based itself hasn't been performing too good. Look at the WCQ, for example, here to kind of show that. But in terms of the functionality and the way that the deck functions, you kind of got to ask yourself, the deck is supposed to be resilient enough and cool enough to do that, but is it consistent enough to pump out those results? Now, when you looked at the WCQ results here, you saw a very diverse format, all right? I'm not going to lie to you. You look at those pie charts that we had, yeah, it looks diverse. It looks great. It looks fantastic. But the problem is you see the same things across all of these decks here. You see, your Brave package. Don't lie to me here. All right, you've already known that Brave package is the glue that is keeping your very fragile deck in check. I know, all right? It makes Libromancer look like a tier 1 deck on paper. Without it, not so much. It definitely adds a lot of spice. Even to Dragon Link, it gives these decks a very good opportunity to have consistency about them. But I'm going to go back to the Norden argument that we always do. Norden was a powerful card. Oh my god, if you guys remember when Norden was legal in its format with Instant Fusion, the card was amazing. It really helped out a lot of rogue decks. Oh, it was fantastic. But it's still the same problem that you have when you have generic engines like this available to you. You literally are like, oh my god, this helps my deck. Why would you want to ban it? Because it's making the tier 1 decks even better. It's the same problem you had with Norden, all right? Yes, rogue decks do get that boost off of these things, but it's making the better decks already better. Oh man, what a strange concept. It's almost like good generic powerful cards. Well, then just ban all the generic. No, that's not how that works. Now, I'm not saying to go after the Brave package in its entirety. I'm just trying to make the point here that when you're looking across this very generic meta here with the power creep that's coming, y'all have to realize that it's the same culprits doing its thing, Even though Scythe-Lock isn't massively everywhere as it once was, it's still there. And the amount of people that I walked around with at Nationals that just were all I don't want to play this weekend because of Scythe-Lock. Almost reminds me of that being a problem right now. So we pointed out the Brave package. We pointed out the impending power creep here. We've pointed out really some of the other stuff. There's other problems here. There's Halki Fibrax now. Now, the big problem with Hulk is it's reached the point now that I think we can't ignore it anymore. Especially when you go into Sprite format, when you can literally go Sprite, bring out the Herald, make the Sprite Elf, revive the Diviner, and then you can trigger the Diviner and go down all of the paths of Diviner that you want. Okay, so the problem is that might not be an amazing play just yet, but it's coming, all right? Also, the fact that this facilitates all of the already existing packages, once again, generic cards that find play within generic ways, will then eventually proceed to make decks better. Now, I'm not saying that this card is one of the tipping scales in Sprite. Don't get me wrong. A lot of the Sprite decks didn't play it until much later in the OCG, but it was a card that a lot of Sprite decks did look at in the OCG as a stepping stone option to bait hand traps. Now, trust me, when you have a generic rank or link 2 that just goes, oh, well, I can go ahead and special summon a free body, and I can go ahead and step on into something else, it's so good. All right, like literally it also makes gigantic Sprite while pulling from the deck, and then the Sprite can pull from the deck. That's not good, ladies and gentlemen. All right, and we were already facilitating all the synchro problems around, also the Wonder Magician pop for the Scythe as well. Maybe we should take a look at things here and go, maybe Scythe, maybe the adventure package, maybe getting rid of some of these things would, help things. But the problem here is when you go into next format here and you look at the impending power creep here, Konami's going to do the same thing they always do. They're going to take a look at all of the upcoming stuff here, and they're going to go, all right, time to amputate everything in the past. I do want to say that I was a little bit of a fan of taking a much simpler approach to what's coming here, and maybe just get rid of Hulk. Leave the adventure package at 3. One of the most interesting things I could see that we could have, in Sprite format would be triple Right and triple Water Enchantress. The OCG never got to explore that package. We also have the Starlight DPE coming out here. Maybe we could see 3 Fusion Destinies come back. Wouldn't that be interesting to see, Destiny Hero Destroyer, Phoenix Enforcer, see some of this older cards that got got ban lists destroyed, actually see how these cards could stand up in a format where we enter into the next, frontier. Well, honestly, we don't go super, we're here, we go up to here just a little bit, it's a little power creep. Once the Ishizu stuff comes out, you go, you're in like another dimension of power creep. So the problem here is we know we've identified the problem cards. Yes, I know I'm dancing around Mystic Mine. My thing with Mystic Mine is this, all right, and I know I'm going to get roasted for it. I kind of sit on the fence that some days I look at the card and I'm like, man, this is kind of a necessary evil in the game. And other days I agree with other people that it's bad card design and it is a problem. As of late, it's been more of a problem than a necessary evil. All right, and that's kind of where the issue stems from with this. Mystic Mine has become a pretty troublesome card in the game of Yu-Gi-Oh! Now, as we go forward here into the next list, I would very much like to see the card stick around, if you want my honest opinion. I want to see how Mystic Mine could particularly interact with Splite and these other interactions and see how decks could take advantage of that. I'd be very intrigued to see that, all right? But playing devil's advocate, I definitely agree while players want it. It's just, I enjoy seeing like the random interactions that the OCG didn't get to see. And right now those variables are the Water Enchantress package and really DPE, honestly. No Verte Anaconda. God, having Verte around would have just been an awful ride. But I do think here, as we go forward, yeah, there are some big problems in the TCG, for sure. Are they fixable? Yeah, but we're going to lose a lot of the option trees that we go forward here to kind of counteract Sprite. And yes, I know I'm putting Sprite on a pretty high pedestal here. Maybe the deck isn't going to be as good at the massive, involvement here in the future. Who knows? I've seen a lot of playtesting with it. I've seen a lot of good, consistent results with it. But to be honest with you, I'm very intrigued to see what the player base thoughts lie on this. So that is the problems within Yu-Gi-Oh! For July 2022. What do you guys think? Please leave a comment down below. Tell me what you guys think. Make sure you guys smash the crap out of that subscribe button so you guys don't miss out on more awesome content. And remember, Yu-Gi-Oh! Is an evolving game where even if you clean up a whole bunch of problems now, there will always still be many more to come. And when you hit that phase of we take care of everything now, you see the next problems on the horizon. That's what makes this game really a big pain in my butt, but you love it. Peace out, guys. Have a good rest of your day. Patrons, thank you.
Thank you so much for watching. Check out these other videos.